Were you involved in a motorcycle accident as a passenger and you want to know who you file a lawsuit against? Is it the third-party driver of the other vehicle, or is it the driver of your motorcycle? Check out this short video to find out. So motorcycling is dangerous. Everybody kind of knows that. I'm not a hardcore rider by any means, but I've handled probably 150 or 200 motorcycle accident cases, so I know what I'm talking about here. And I want to share a little information with you about what to do if you're a passenger in an accident. There are really 4 situations I'm talking about here. One is when the bike is hit by a car or a truck or another motorcycle. The second situation is when the driver of your motorcycle or the operator of the motorcycle causes an accident. The third situation is when there's a product liability issue or a product defect in the bike and that causes an accident. And lastly, I'm going to touch very briefly on when a roadway condition causes an accident, what a passenger should do. Now, in 3 out of 4 of these situations, who you're going to file a lawsuit against might be pretty clear to you. But if you are injured and the cause of the accident was the operator of your motorcycle, have you thought through the ramifications of what filing a claim or filing a lawsuit against that person is going to do? Stay tuned, as I'm going to talk about that shortly. Okay, the first situation we're going to talk about is when the accident is caused by a third party, the driver of a car or a truck or another motorcycle. The good news is, you have the same rights as the operator or driver of your motorcycle. In fact, you have more rights than that person. As a passenger, there's not a lot you can do about the accident. You can't control if a car veers into your lane and causes the bike to go down. All you can control is your behavior on the back of the bike and if you're geared up, if you're prepared for an accident. I could talk to you all day about why I think it's important to wear a helmet on the back of a bike. But let me just point something out to you. There was an article in the Journal of American Medicine. It's a prestigious publication. And they talked about the fact that less passengers wear helmets than riders. That's a very important thing to note. It also talked about the fact that as a result of that, when there is an accident, passengers are more likely to suffer a brain injury than the operator of the motorcycle. So just think about that the next time you get on the back of a bike. Passengers can recover for the same thing that the operator of the vehicle can recover for. Medical bills, pain and suffering, lost wages, personal property damage. My strong recommendation is that if you suffer personal injuries in a motorcycle accident, you talk to an accident attorney as soon as possible. If you want to, reach out to me. I have a huge network of attorneys all over the country ready to help. Okay, let's talk about situation number 2. This is when the operator of the vehicle that you're on causes the accident. Now that could be an accident with another car, but it could also be a solo vehicle accident. I've represented a lot of people who were passengers on the back of bikes injured in solo vehicle accidents. So the first thing you're going to do, of course, is file an insurance claim. Who do you file it with? You file it with the insurance for the operator of your vehicle. Well, that raises a touchy subject, doesn't it? Because oftentimes that person could be your boyfriend or girlfriend, could be a good friend, it could be your significant other or a spouse. So you have to think in the back of your mind whether you really want to file that claim with their insurance. My suggestion to you is file the claim. And here's why. They've got insurance for a reason. I mean, that's why they got insurance in the first place, so that God forbid, if they get in an accident, people's medical bills will be covered, their property damage will be covered, and if there's pain and suffering, they'll be reimbursed for that as well. So my strong recommendation is to file the claim. Let me give you an example of a situation I had. We represented a female passenger who was injured on the back of a bike. The guy rounded a corner and hit some gravel and went down. Well, we filed a claim with his insurance and he was not happy about it. These folks were friends. And he actually called our office and was screaming at me about the fact that he wasn't responsible for the accident because there was gravel and so forth. Well, take the responsibility out of the fact or out of the question. He is responsible for that accident. And I explained to him, this is why you have insurance. She was also super hesitant to proceed with the case, but I explained who's going to pay for your medical bills. And once she realized that she'd be stuck with those bills, it was a no-brainer. We proceeded with the claim, and fortunately, we were able to recover a lot of money on her behalf. I also want to throw something else out here. If you're the passenger on a bike and you get injured, you should also file a claim with your own auto insurance. That's right. Your car insurance may cover you for your damages in a motorcycle accident. You may have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, and this is no guarantee, but we always file a claim with our client's own car insurance coverage to see if there's protection there for them as well. There may also be something called MedPay or medical payments coverage that covers some of your medical bills. Don't be hesitant. File a claim with your auto insurance after a motorcycle accident as well. Okay, the third type of case where you may be injured as a passenger is in a products liability case, a defect case. There's something wrong with the motorcycle, or perhaps a tire blows out. Chances are you're going to go down, especially if it's a front tire. So what I would say to you is, in this case, you have the same rights as the operator of the vehicle. You're going to see if this is a manufacturer's defect, if Yamaha or Honda or Harley messed up. Check to see if there is any recall on that vehicle already. That happens all the time, and it lends itself to this type of claim. However, I don't want to mislead you, and I'm not going to talk about this much more other than to say that this is a tough case to win. And there are other issues you have to deal with, like do you sue the distributor? Do you sue the manufacturer? Maybe it's the repair shop that made the error. The bottom line, though, is if there really is a defect in this vehicle, you may be entitled to compensation, but you're going to need to speak to an attorney about it. Okay, the fourth type of claim that a passenger might bring is based on defective road conditions. The motorcycle hits a pothole. We get calls like this all the time. Generally speaking, you can recover the same as the operator of your vehicle does. But I don't want to mislead you on this either. These are tough cases to win. And right now, governments are strapped for money. I've sent out a bunch of cases to other attorneys to get their impression on whether a case was winnable or not. And oftentimes lately, I'm hearing from them that because of the status of local governments and the cash crunch that's going on right now, oftentimes these attorneys are hesitant to even bring these cases. However, it doesn't mean that's applicable in your case. Every case is different. So if you do get injured by a road condition, reach out to me. I'll take a look at it and I'll give you a fair evaluation as to whether I think you have a viable claim. One thing I want you to be aware of, though, is that if the local city or government or municipality is responsible for that roadway, there's a really good likelihood that you have a much shorter timeline to file a claim and then theoretically a lawsuit against the governmental entity. So if you're injured in a roadway accident, don't delay. Okay, one last thought for passengers. Now, the riders of bikes are going to get angry at me for saying this, but the reality is that the passenger may still have a claim against the operator of the vehicle. There's a likelihood that the operator should have avoided the pothole, for example. So I would refer you back to the earlier part of this video when I talked about the fact that a passenger may have a claim against the operator of a vehicle. Okay, one side note for you passengers and also for you operators. Passengers can cause motorcycle accidents too, right? If they're acting erratically on the back of the bike, if they're standing up on the pegs, if they're leaning the wrong way. So just keep that in mind, that a passenger can be comparatively negligent or contribute to an accident as well. I had a situation one time where a couple, a man and a woman, were on a poker run. And they were going from stop to stop and they were drinking at each place. Well, they ended up getting in an accident with a car. And they weren't entirely at fault for the accident, but the other insurance company kept telling me, hey, she was getting drunk and she was on the back of a motorcycle with a guy that she knew was drinking. So she's comparatively at fault for that accident. Listen, we agreed on a percentage of fault and we were still able to get her really good compensation. But if that's a situation you're involved in, that's another way where a passenger might be comparatively at fault for an accident. Were you the passenger on the back of a motorcycle and it went down? Did one of these situations happen to you? Did you file a claim with the operator of the vehicle? Tell us about it in the comment section below. Thanks for checking out this short video on passengers in motorcycle accidents. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you need a referral to a motorcycle accident attorney, please reach out to me. I have a huge network of attorneys ready to help.